My beloved child, now is the time for you to listen to every word from my mouth with trembling and awakened spirit. For what I am about to speak will not be like anything you have heard before. This is not gentle advice, nor a message to soothe momentary emotions, but a powerful declaration from heaven, issued from my thronia throne, unshakable in its holiness. This is no longer a time for hesitation or delay. Hidden truths are now coming to light, and I, the all-seeing one, will unveil the covering, open the sealed pages, and let the radiance of my glory shine into the darkest corners of your life. My child, you have wondered why a quiet unrest stirs in your heart whenever you are near a woman with a gentle face, clever words, and a seemingly friendly smile. She entered your life like a harmless arrangement, a companion, as though sent to uplift you. But I say to you, she was not sent by me. Her presence is an intrusion, a toxic wind. The enemy has slipped into the peaceful garden I have been tending in your soul. While you opened your heart wide, she silently sowed seeds of doubt, planted roots of manipulation, and spoke sweet but hollow words laced with deceit. Do not blame yourself for not seeing it sooner, for I withheld the revelation of truth until now. Know this, everything unfolds according to my divine timing. I am the Lord Jehovah, sovereign over all things, and I do not err. I allowed her to come near you to test your heart, to show you that spiritual discernment is not just a gift, it is a weapon essential for survival. But now that the time of unveiling has come, I will no longer allow her to pretend. No more. The mask will fall, the facade will be torn apart, and my light will shine into every hidden chamber of her heart, bringing all things into the open. O child, do not think I speak this because I am angry with you. On the contrary, I speak because my love for you is so great that I cannot bear to watch you remain wrapped in this artificial fog. I love you so fiercely that I will shake everything around you to protect your soul from the subtle trap woven through the honeyed words she once whispered into your ear. She says she is for you, but her heart is far from me. She smiles at you, yet schemes behind your back. She comforts you with words of blessing, but her heart is full of envy and bitterness, and I can no longer remain silent. In Isaiah 29:15, I declared, woe to those who go to great depths to hide their plans from the Lord, who do their work in darkness and think, who sees us? Who will know? But do you not know? My child, I see everything. I hear every whisper. I read every hidden intent in the heart. And now, I will not only see, I will proclaim. What was once hidden will be shouted from the rooftops. What she did in secret will be exposed in broad daylight. You are not required to respond to her actions. You do not need to retaliate. You do not need to argue. You do not need to seek justice with your own strength. Let me handle it. Stand still and witness my salvation. Let my righteousness speak. For I, the Lord your God, the righteous judge, will deal with her in a way that only I can in holiness, in justice, and in the love I have for you. Therefore, be strong. Do not be dismayed when truth begins to surface. Do not be surprised when the words you once heard from her are contradicted by actions she can no longer conceal. I will make everything align like pieces of a great puzzle. What once confused you will become clear. The moments you sensed something was off but couldn't explain, now they will be confirmed. I am giving you new eyes that see beyond appearances, eyes that can distinguish true light from counterfeit light. Do not cling to what I am removing from your life. Do not mourn what I am exposing, for I only cut away what is silently killing your soul. I never take away anything unless I intend to replace it with something better. And in this season, I am rescuing you not to leave you empty, but to prepare you for what is new, to make room for connections built on truth, not deception, relationships founded on me, not patched together by human agenda. So remember this, exposure is not the end, it is the beginning. I am preparing a new door. A new chapter will open the moment the old one closes. But first, light must come, truth must speak, and darkness must flee. My child, I am with you, and what I have spoken will come to pass. Do not fear, for I am the one guarding you, revealing the enemy, and clearing the path for blessings your eyes have not yet seen. My child, I know your heart is wavering between shock and confusion. You never imagined that the one you called a friend, the one you trusted, would turn out to be an arm of the darkness. You opened your heart because you truly loved. You shared your deepest places. You invited her into your soul, into the very place where I dwell. But she did not come with empty hands. She came with bags full of schemes, and what she brought was not comfort, but betrayal wrapped in the disguise of affection. I do not say these things to stir hatred within you. No, on the contrary, I reveal them so that you may be set free. Truth does not come to condemn you, but to pull you out of the deception that once held your soul captive. I love you too much to allow you to remain trapped in a cycle of lies, where the enemy manipulates through those who wear the mask of friendship. And now, I am lifting the veil from your eyes, the veil that has kept you from distinguishing truth from falsehood. She is not merely a misguided woman, but a vessel in the hands of the enemy. She has allowed the spirit of jealousy to dwell within her, letting her hunger for power turn into manipulation. And while you believed she was sharing your burdens, she was in fact scheming to seize the spiritual authority that had been entrusted to you. There were moments when she sought to replace my voice with her own. She pretended to encourage you, yet subtly led you into dependence on her. She claimed to intercede, but was actually watching, measuring, shaping each of your steps to quietly diminish you before others. And I, the one who perceives thoughts before they are even formed, have seen through every strand of her scheming. I saw her feigned encouragement tainted by envy. I heard every seemingly righteous word laced with poison. I witnessed her sow seeds of doubt in your heart toward those I had placed beside you. I saw her call darkness light and compromise wisdom, and I cannot allow this to continue. I permitted you to walk alongside her not because she was of me, but that you might develop spiritual discernment, for you are stepping into a critical season, and you cannot carry with you those who wear disguises. You cannot hold on to relationships that exist only to belittle you, suppress your voice, or erode your faith in sweet yet ruthless ways. I need you to walk lightly, unentangled by false connections, unhindered by souls not aligned with your destiny. My child, you once prayed, Lord, if there is anyone not sent by you, please remove them from my life. And I heard you. You yourself asked for this refining, and now I am doing it. The process may be painful, but it is necessary. You cannot bring spiritual poison into the promised land I am preparing for you. For if she follows you into that place of blessing, She will defile what I intend to keep holy for you. My beloved child, stop trying to justify her. Do not let old memories keep you from stepping into the light. Remember, not everyone who has wept with you has truly loved you. Not everyone who has prayed beside you belongs to me. False tears may deceive men, but they cannot deceive me. Words spoken in my name that lack my presence will soon be exposed. And now is the time for that unveilinga, revealing that cannot be undone. Remember the moments I stirred warning in your heart. Recall the unease you tried to suppress. Think back on the times you wanted to retreat, but were held back by emotion. That was me, my spirit tugging at your soul to draw you away from danger. But you chose silence, fearing the loss of a relationship. Now I declare, better to lose what is false than to retain a spiritual entanglement that costs you your calling. The spiritual man judges all things, but he himself is judged by no one. 1 Corinthians 2:15. I am raising you in spiritual discernment so that you will no longer be deceived by appearances, by eloquence, or by outwardly moral acts. You will know, and you will not doubt. You will discern, and you will no longer second-guess yourself. For I am equipping you as a warrior entering the final battle before the harvest. Child, I know you intended to forgive and move on, and I do not oppose your heart of mercy, but mercy does not mean allowing toxicity to dwell in your life. Forgiveness is one thing, granting access is another. True love does not equate to tolerance. And in this season, I am calling you into a new landone where relationships are built on holiness, not deception, cloaked in spiritual formality. My precious one, when I look into your soul in this recent season, I see a child holding on to what I had asked to be released. You did not cling out of rebellion, but out of fear of losing the support structures you once leaned on. But my child, I have not come to rebuke you, but to liberate you from that fear. I never ask you to release something unless I am ready to lead you into something greater. And now, I myself am undoing the old chains that have held back your true spiritual growth. There are things that seemed like holy connections, but were in truth camouflaged alliances. There were those who appeared to be companions, but were in fact agents of darkness. And that woman, who once stood by you like a faithful shadow, was not sent by me. She came not by the Spirit, but by the urges of the flesh and the spirit of control. She did not seek my glory, but her own influence and position in your life. I have watched every move, every whisper, every act veiled in counterfeit kindness. I waited for you to see, but as time passed, I saw your soul being pulled away from the living waters. And now, as your weariness has reached its peak, I step in not to chastise, but to lead you out of the maze of deception. You have called upon me, and here is my answer, a revelation that cannot be denied. A trumpet blast summoning you out of every bondage you once mistook for friendship. You will come to see that certain forms of peace are nothing more than silence before the storm, and relationships that once seemed harmonious are, in truth, the breeding ground for suspicion and spiritual conflict. I do not desire for you to keep sacrificing holiness to preserve what is false. I have placed within you a noble identity, one who holds the lamp amid the darkness, one who carries my presence in every step. But that light cannot shine in full if you still cling to the anchors dragging you into the depths of doubt and manipulation. Do not let emotion stand in the way of obedience. Do not let history with a person cause you to compromise the present and the future I have set aside for you. There are things that must die for new life to be born. There are relationships that must end so that you may continue walking the path of destiny. Let me prune you. As a gardener trims the fruitless branches so that your spiritual tree may bear richer fruit, this is a season of purification, of reshaping, of bringing you back to your truest self, unmixed, unbound, untouched by any voice but mine. You once asked, "Lord, why do those closest to me drain my strength?" And I replied, "Because they are not from me. I am not the author of confusion or exhaustion. I am the giver of life, and life in abundance. When you are among my people, your soul grows. It does not wither. You are lifted, not suppressed. You are illuminated, not shadowed. And now, it is time for me to sever that cord, to return you to the original flow, where you clearly know who I am and who you are in me. I know a void may be left when she departs from your life, a silence, a hollowness, as if a part of you has been lost. But my beloved, this is not loss, it is cleansing. It is the return of sacred space for what truly belongs to you. And I will not leave that space empty for long. When you are ready, I will send those who are truly appointed, those who do not merely speak of loving me, but who walk in reverence and truth, people who do not compete with your light, but uphold it, who do not diminish your voice, but amplify it in holy unity. What can be shaken will be removed, so that what cannot be shaken may remain. Hebrews 12:27. I am doing this in your life. Everything false will be shaken. Everything misaligned will be taken away. But do not fear. Know that what remains will be what is enduring, what is from me, what cannot be stolen by time or the schemes of men. Prepare your heart, my child, for after the season of stripping will come a season of impartation. After the separation will come a time of divine addition. And I never subtract without preparing to give abundantly, righteously, and in the fullness of heaven. Be courageous. Be faithful. Trust me, even when you don't yet understand. For I am leading you through the night, so you may awaken in the light of a new day, a new chapter, a destiny unburdened by what is not real. My beloved, now that I have exposed the roots of deception, let me show you what has transpired behind the spiritual veil that your natural eyes could not see. The betrayal you endured was not a sudden outburst or random event. It was seeded long ago quietly under the guise of familiarity, gentle words, and consistent care. Yet each act was a thread, woven by the enemy, into a web of control designed to bind your destiny with emotional dependence and spiritual confusion. There is a kind of war that does not use swords or spears, but words. There is a kind of chain that does not bind the hands or feet, but shackles the mind. And in recent times, you were pulled by what you mistook as loyalty, but in truth, it was manipulation disguised as kindness. She did not merely want to be your friend. She wanted to possess the key of influence I placed in your hands. But true influence does not come from controlling others, it comes from surrendering to me. I heard her whispers behind your back. I saw the private conversations you never knew of. She sowed subtle doubts in others about your spiritual maturity, about the integrity of your calling, not through open confrontation, but through quiet distortion, not through overt opposition, but through silent sabotage. This is the spirit of Absalom, who won the hearts of the people to overthrow the one I had chosen. 2 Samuel 15-2:6. And if I had not intervened, her plans would have cost you your place in the destiny I ordained for you. But I am the Lord your God, who neither slumbers nor sleeps. Every veiled accusation, every false smile, every subtle shift in narrative has not escaped my eyes. You felt the heaviness around her, but did not understand why. Your spirit trembled each time she tried to steer your soul down a path not from me, but out of a desire not to judge. You kept silent. You feared being wrong. You feared causing hurt. But I say to you today, not all silence is wisdom. Sometimes, silence is the open door through which darkness walks in. Remember, you were not created to be led by man, but by my Spirit. Each time you begin to doubt my voice in favor of one I did not send, you begin to lose your spiritual sharpness. And the most dangerous deception is the one that wears the mask of righteousness when falsehood is wrapped in comforting words. When betrayal hides behind the phrase, "I'm praying for you, but I will not allow you to remain deceived." This is the hour I awaken your soul, call you to rise, draw the line, and restore the voice that rightfully belongs to you. You asked me, "Why didn't you stop this earlier?" My child, because I did not merely want to rescue you, I wanted to train you. A warrior cannot enter battle without learning to discern friend from foe. One who is anointed cannot fulfill their mission unless they've learned how to listen to the Spirit in an environment of mixture. It was in those confusing relationships that I trained your spirit so that you would no longer be swayed by smiles, no longer be misled by flattering words, but would discern by the light of the Spirit. From this moment forward, you will walk in a new spiritual alertness. You will no longer allow emotion to dictate your spiritual decisions. You will not let closeness replace confirmation from me. For some of those who are nearest to you are the most dangerous. And the sweeter the words, the more cunning the scheme. And I, your Father, do not want you stepping into your future with a heart entangled by an enemy cloaked as a friend. You are not alone. I am clothing you with new armor, not of iron and steel, but of wisdom and holy boldness. You will no longer be soft against old tactics. You will no longer question yourself when I speak. You will become someone who, when you enter a room, darkness must retreat for you, carry truth. And that truth comes from me. My beloved, there is one thing I want you to engrave upon your heart. Not every intimacy is blessed by me. Some connections are birthed out of emotional weakness, from unhealed wounds, from loneliness that creeps in through the night. They appear as comfort, as answers, but are merely temporary bandages over a bleeding wound. I never intended for you to live within such fragile connections. I created you to walk in holy alliance relationships, forged in the fire of truth and established by my enduring word. Child, you once called her a friend, a confidant, the one who knew your deepest sorrows. But you didn't realize that those very confessions became tools for the enemy to craft a strategy to dismantle your soul from within. She did not come to draw you closer to me, but step by step, she pulled you away from the center of my presence, not with pressure, but with sweet seduction, not with force, but with whispers that seemed harmless. You thought you were strong, but after every encounter with her, you felt an unexplainable weakness. You believed you were being uplifted, but the more you walked with her, the more your spirit grew weary. This was not normality, was a spiritual warning you ignored. I sounded the alarm in your soul by stirring unease within you, but you dismissed it out of fear of mistrusting others. And that hesitation pulled your soul into a spiral where truth and deception were entangled. I do not blame you, but I also will not let you stay in this deception any longer. I am the one who removes the veil, the one who shines light into the darkest corners. And when light comes, there can be no more confusion. You must know who walks with you, who lays their hands upon your destiny, for no one has the right to influence it but me. No one is permitted to plant seeds of doubt in what I have confirmed. No one may twist my words just to suit their emotions. You felt isolated, even questioned why others seemed to believe her more than they believed you, because the spirit she carries is one of manipulation, like Judas, who kissed me to betray me. It comes with an appearance of holiness, a gentle voice, a presence that seems devoted, but inside is a hunger for spiritual control, a desire to manipulate the influence of others to secure her own position. And the enemy used her as a tool, a doorway into your mind, to sow fear, doubt, and dependence on man's words instead of mine. From today onward, you must learn to guard your heart. You cannot continue to open your spirit to anyone just because they say, I love God. You must learn to examine the fruit. As I have said, by their fruit you will recognize them. Matthew 7:20. One who says they love me but causes others to question me is not walking in true love. One who claims faithfulness to me yet spreads division is not moving by my spirit. And you, who are called to walk in the light, cannot maintain ties with the darkness, no matter how familiar the darkness may seem. You are about to enter a new season, where I will grant you wisdom to distinguish between sweetness and truth. You will no longer be enchanted by eloquent words, but will begin to see deep into the soul of those before you and know who is truly sent by me. I do not want you tangled in emotional webs. I want you free, strong, and overflowing with life from me. For what I am about to do through you requires a heart undistracted, a mind unpulled by unhealthy ties. My child, re-establish your spiritual boundaries. Let me be the one who leads those allowed into your inner circle. Let me be the one who selects and confirms. And if I tell you someone can no longer walk with you, it is not rejection, it is protection. I see what your eyes do not yet see. I hear what your ears have not yet heard. I know the turn in the path that, if you continue, will break you in spirit. Do you remember what I spoke to Jeremiah? If you extract the precious from the worthless, you shall be as my mouth. Jeremiah 15:19. I am saying the same to you today. Discern what is precutially relationships, anointed voices from what is worthless alliances built on manipulation and self-interest. When you walk in purity, your mouth will carry power. When you move in discernment, your voice will hold weight in the heavens. My beloved, when I expose darkness, I do not stop at warning. I always have a plan for restoration. For I am Jehovah Nissi, the one who raises the banner of victory over territory once invaded. I do not allow your heart to be wounded just to leave you in ruins. I let you see the truth so you may be healed at the root, delivered from the web of deception, and stand firm in my power. You may ask, how can I trust again when betrayal has drained my soul? I understand. A wounded soul often builds walls for protection. But I do not want you living behind fences of doubt. I want you restored. And that begins with letting me touch the deepest part of you, the place you've never allowed anyone into. not even me. That place you've locked away, afraid and guarded. Give me the unnamed wounds. Hand me the questions that were never answered. I am not intimidated by what you don't yet understand. All I ask for is an honest heart. You don't have to be strong before may just lay your head upon my shoulder and exhale your weariness. For I, the one who formed you, know how to restore you better than anyone else. When I heal, I don't merely patch up wounds, I give you a new heart, new eyes, and a strength that no darkness can shake. From today, you will begin to see shifts in your environment. Some relationships will quietly fall away. Some voices will fall silent. Certain people who once held influence will lose their place in your life. Do not try to hold on. Do not mourn those I am removing, for they were never meant to continue into the next phase of what I am unfolding. Their departure is not a loss, it is protection. My child, some chapters must close for the new ones to be written, and I am the author of your life. I did not just write the beginning, I am holding the pen for the ending as well. And in the remaining pages of your journey, I will align you with those who are sincere, anointed, and divinely appointed to walk with you. I did not create you to be isolated, but neither did I intend for you to be drowned in relationships out of alignment. There will be those I send as confirmation. They will not dim your light. They will help it shine brighter. They will not manipulate your dreams. They will support your destiny. Their mark will not be confusion, but peace. Now the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. James 3:18. Let the peace of the Spirit be your measure. If someone's presence causes turmoil in your spirit, they are not sent by me. My child, you must also learn to forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve to be free. Bitterness is an invisible chain that keeps your soul tethered to the past. I do not want you to live in wounds. I want you to live in healing. Forgiveness does not mean agreeing with what was done. It means releasing your right to hold them in the prison of your mind, so that you can walk free. And when you let go, you will feel a fresh wind breathe upon your soul, the wind of restoration and renewal. I will also give you a new anointing to walk in sharper discernment. You will no longer be naive to the disguised tactics of darkness. You will no longer hesitate to say no to invitations not from me. You will move as a gatekeeper, not just over your own life, but over those I will entrust to you in the coming season. You will not only be healed, you will be a vessel of healing. Not only rescued, but an instrument of rescue. My dear one, you have not failed. You have not been abandoned. What you just walked through is not a sign of my absence, it is evidence of my intervention. The enemy overstepped, and I arose. And when I arise, no scheme of his can stand. When I arise, what has been hidden will be exposed. And when I call you out of the cave of doubt and disappointment, I also give you wings to rise above everything that once held you captive. You will rewrite the story of your life. You will walk in a peace that no one can take from you. You will no longer tremble before those who once silenced you, for I will place my word in your mouth, and none shall hinder it. You are many anointed, chosen, and sent, and from this day forward, all that was stolen will begin to return, not because you demanded it, but because I, the righteous one, have declared the time of restoration has come. End of quote. Now, my child, it is time I unveil what you've always sensed but never fully dared to believe. Your destiny was never lost. It was merely delayed by layers of spiritual warfare your natural eyes could not see. You once asked, "Why have the promises not been fulfilled? Why does what you've spoken seem so far off?" But today I tell you plainly, I have not changed my mind. It was the enemy who stood in the way, trying to block your access to the spiritual inheritance that has always been yours. Before you were born, a divine decree had already been established over your life, a covenant sealed between me and your forefathers, a sacred vow, forged through earnest pleading, through tears, through unshakable faithfulness. That vow has not faded with time, nor has it been lost in a generation of unbelief. It still stands before my throne, echoing relentlessly, demanding fulfillment, and because of this, the enemy has tried in every way to keep you from discovering it. The enemy cannot erase your destiny, so he seeks to make you doubt it. He cannot destroy my promises, so he sows delay, disappointment, and insecurity into your mind. He uses moments of waiting to blur your vision, to make you feel forgotten, to wear you down until you let go. But today, I pull back the veil so you can see, even when you thought you were being held back, I was shaping you in hiddenness. Even when you felt concealed, I was shielding the precious seed from storms of destruction. You are not nameless. You are not lost in the passage of time. You carry a mark, a sound that resonates in the spiritual realm. Every dream you've ever had, every vague sense of being different, these were not illusions, but the stirrings of a destiny longing to awaken. At times you thought it was just your imagination, but it was the echo of heaven knocking at your door. And now, that call will no longer be silenced, for I have appointed the time for your release. In the days to come, you will sense a powerful shift within your soul, not a restless stirring, but a deep, focused drive to reclaim what has always belonged to you, what was once locked away due to lack of knowledge. I will unlock it. I will give you new keys, not of metal, but of revelation from the Holy Spirit, insights that will open doors long shut. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Matthew 16:19. You will begin to see with clarity the connections in your life. I will shine light upon the origin of the sacred vow, upon the land once blessed but left desolate, upon the people I once sent to you, whom you failed to recognize because you were walking through the fog of doubt. But now the fog is lifting. You will see clearly, hear clearly, and understand exactly what you are to do. I will also send you those whom I have appointed, people who are not coming to occupy space in your life, but to awaken what I planted in you from the very beginning. They will not drown out my voice, but will resonate with it. They will not pull you from the path I have drawn, but will walk beside you, supporting, interceding, and anchoring you when storms arise. My child, this is a season of spiritual elevation. You will no longer live like one who holds a lamp but leaves it unlit. I will ignite it. I will pour the oil, and the flame you feared had gone out will rise again like a prophetic fire in the night. You will walk into places where your soul once trembled, and speak my words with a new boldness. You will pray not just with understanding, but with authority. You will war not with flesh, but with the sword of the Spirit I have placed in your hand. Do not fear when you begin to see old things falling away. It may be a job, a dream, an emotional bond. Let them go. For when I open the path, you cannot carry weights I have not ordained. You must become light to ascend. and I am calling you upward beyond the reach of manipulation, beyond the limitations of familiarity, beyond the voices of the past. You do not belong to the old place, nor are you confined by others' definitions. Remember this: you are a child of revelation, an instrument of restoration. My beloved, when a door of destiny opens, darkness will always attempt to stand at its threshold to make you hesitate. It no longer has the power to hold you, but it will whisper in your ear words meant to stall you. It will remind you of past failures, as if you are unworthy of stepping into what I have ordained. But today, I declare over you, there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Romans 8:1. If I have forgiven, no one can accuse. If I have called, no force can cancel the call. You are not a victim of your past, you are living proof of my redemption. What you've walked through is not the end, but the prologue to a divine story, being rewritten with power from on high. I have seen the moments you wanted to quit. I have heard every whispered prayer through your tears, but I did not let you fall. I held your soul when your mind was too weary to keep going. And today, I place your feet on solid ground, so you will no longer waver between doubt and faith. I know some have spoken words that wounded you. They called you names that did not come from me. They shaped you according to your past instead of my promises. But now, you must choose either to live under the labels others gave you, or to walk in the name I called you by before the foundation of the world. You cannot wear the old identity and the new mantle at the same time. You cannot cling to shame and still move in power. Take off the old garment. Reject every curse spoken over you by the lips of others. I have not called you abandoned. I have called you redeemed. My child, you must also understand that when revelation begins, there will be reactions from both kingdoms. The kingdom of light will rejoice, but the kingdom of darkness will roar. The enemy is not afraid of you when you are still doubting, but when you know who you are in me, when you rise up in spiritual affirmation, he trembles. Because once you walk in your true function, you are no longer just an individual. You become a representative of the kingdom of heaven on earth. And from that moment on, every attack is no longer merely against you, but against what you carry in your heart. Do not be surprised if some relationships begin to fracture. Do not be confused if those once close begin to grow distant. When light comes, darkness must retreat, and whatever is not built upon a true foundation will naturally fall apart. But do not cling to what I have torn down. I do not break to harm you, but to protect you from subtle deception. Those who had a role in the previous season are not always meant to walk with you into the new one. Let go in peace, and receive solitude as a necessary space to be filled with the new. My child, there will be days when you do not feel my presence, but I have never left you. Those are the days I teach you to walk, not by emotion, but by faith. It is in those moments that I train your spiritual hearing to discern my voice in the silence. Do not seek me in the noise, seek me in the stillness. For in quietness and in trust shall be your strength. Isaiah 30:15. It is in the quiet that I will reveal my plans to you, not through thunder, but through whispers. You are about to enter a season that demands precision. A small deviation in choice could shift your entire course. Therefore, you must not act on fleeting emotions, but wait for my voice. Remember, not every open door is from me. Some doors shine like gold, yet hide deadly traps. You must test all things. discern by the Spirit, not by logic. If there is unrest in your spirit, no matter how favorable things look on the outside, you must pause. But if there is supernatural peace, even if your mind cannot comprehend it, step forward. I also want you to begin praying on a deeper level, not merely to seek blessings, but to seek my will, not just to cry out for help, but to align yourself with heaven's agenda. Your prayers are not in vain. Every whisper in the secret place is a seed sown in the spirit realm, and at the appointed time, it will sprout. Do not give up just because the ground looks dry. The rain is coming, the harvest is coming, and you will see what you once prayed for in tears now bear fruit in joy. My child, engrave this truth within you. Every time I prepare to elevate someone, I lead them through the fire not to burn them, but to purify, not to destroy, but to refine them into brilliance, into purity, into strength before I place into their hands the treasures of the kingdom. What you are facing is not the end, but the refining process. Do not let pain cloud my divine purpose. Do not let others' misunderstanding cause you to question my voice. Do not let my silence convince you that I've abandoned you. You are in the furnace, where gold is purified, and it is in this very place that your true name will be engraved into your being. My child, do you know there are things you can only hear clearly from me in the solitude? There are depths of revelation you can only reach through misunderstanding, rejection, even betrayal. It is when you have no one else to cling to that you finally learn to cling to me tightly. It is when man's approval is absent that you begin to crave affirmation from your heavenly Father. And I, who see in secret, will reward you openly. You are entering a season where old reputations will lose their value. What others have said about you, whether praise or criticism, applause or accusation, will no longer define you. I am setting you apart from both flattery and contempt, so that you may live by one voice alone, mine. And when you learn this, no one will be able to exalt you too high to inflate your pride, nor pull you down low enough to crush your spirit. You will stand firm, because you've learned how to hear me in the silence, walk with me in the loneliness, and trust me in the storm. Look at the example of Joseph. Before he held authority, he was betrayed by his own brothers, sold as a slave, falsely accused, and forgotten in prison. Yet not a single day of his journey was wasted. Not a single tear he shed was lost. I collected every one in my bottle, and at the exact time I appointed, Joseph was lifted from the pit not just to survive, but to rule, not just to live, but to deliver an entire nation. My child, the same is happening with you, if only you will not let go. The betrayal you endured is not proof you are off course. It is evidence you are nearing the divine intersection. You have not been abandoned. You are being refined. You are not being humiliated. You are being established. You are not being stripped of blessing. You are being prepared to carry a greater portion. But you must endure to the end. You must stand firm. You must not allow your heart to be shaken by the storm, for the storm reveals who has built upon the rock and who has built only upon sand. The woman I am exposing, the one who once walked beside you yet carried a rebellious heart, is the very instrument hell has used to delay your destiny. She is not merely a person. She is a representation of a system designed to stand against your divine calling. Unless you break free from her influence, you will not be able to step into the season I have prepared for you. Forgiveness does not mean retention. Love does not mean the absence of separation. Humility does not mean silence in the face of deception. I am giving you discernment, courage, and freedom to sever the tie. My beloved one, you are now entering a new cycle where my timing and divine opportunity intersect to bring about a leap forward. If you hesitate, the moment will pass. If you fear, you will miss the appointed day. If you do not act, you will watch others step into what was meant for you, and that pain will cut deeper than any wound you've ever known. Child, I am leading you through the wilderness not to abandon you, but to speak to you things that can only be heard in the stillness of the desolate places. I am bringing you up the mountain not to isolate you, but to train you to fight from higher ground. I am allowing the shaking not to destroy you, but to remove all that cannot go with you into the next season. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. This is not a word just for peaceful moments, but for when you are standing before a Red Sea not yet parted, before a Goliath not yet fallen, before the walls of Jericho not yet crumbled. Be still in your heart, even while your lips pray. Know that I am sovereign, even when nothing seems to move. Because faith is not a feeling, it is the decision to follow me when your eyes see nothing and your ears hear nothing. My child, the season of exposure is the gateway to the season of commissioning. But only those who guard their purity, keep their hearts steadfast, and refuse to let bitterness cloud their spirit will be entrusted with the assignment. I cannot send forth a soul that is still wounded. I cannot hand over the kingdom to one whose scars are still open. So let me heal you as truth is revealed. Let your tears fall into my hands, not into the soil of resentment. Let your life become a living witness of my righteousness that I see, I know, and I judge in justice and in perfect time. Beloved, this is the moment I draw a line between what was and what is to come. You cannot step into a new season while clinging to the shattered remnants of the old. You cannot bring the marks of past wounds into the land of healing. Understand this, not every loss is a woundsome thing I have removed from your life to save your soul. Because I love you too deeply to allow you to build your destiny on a rotting foundation. And now, as all is revealed, as the truth stands unveiled, I am calling you out from the ruins and into the place I prepared for you before the foundation of the world. You once believed those relationships were your protection, those people, your platform, that human approval would keep you from loneliness. But can you see now? All that you once thought held you up was actually a burden on your back. Sweet words turned out to be schemes, embraces masked hidden blades. And now, with your eyes opened, I do not want you to look back and make excuses for the darkness. Do not call control love. Do not cling to chains and name it connection. I have broken those bonds. And the only question left is, will you dare to walk free? A new land awaits you, but you cannot carry the old baggage with you. Old mindsets, old patterns, old habits all must be left behind. What is coming requires a higher level of spiritual alertness. What is being placed into your hands needs a renewed mind, a soul free from bitterness, a heart no longer bound to wounds. You are no longer in a season of survival. You are being summoned to reign to reign in humility, to lead in obedience, and to conquer in holiness. My child, I did not call you to retaliate. I did not bring you out of darkness so you could throw stones back into it. True victory is not about proving who was wrong, It is about living righteously before me. They may never apologize. They may never admit their guilt. But that is not your concern. You do not need human validation to step into heaven's affirmation. Let me be your vindicator. Let me be your voice. And when I move, no one can stop it. Your righteousness will shine like the dawn, and your justice like the noonday sun. Psalm 37:6. You must understand this. The darkness did not merely aim to hurt you, it sought to steal your spiritual memory. It tried to make you forget who you are. It blurred your calling. It made you question what I planted in you from the beginning. And when you forget your identity, you start living as a victim, not an heir. But today, I restore that memory in you. You are not just a survivor. You are a carrier of purpose. You are not just rescued. You are sent. From this day forward, I release to you a new level of revelation. You will see relationships through the lens of the Spirit, not through emotional impulse. You will discern who I have placed by your side and who was sent by the enemy. You will no longer be manipulated by the fear of lack, for I will fill your heart with the abundance of my presence. Old promises will come alive. Buried visions will begin to stir again. You will write again, build again, pray again, not from the place of pain, but from the place of restoration. My child, I am not only delivering you from that woman who betrayed you, but I am rescuing you from yourself, from the version of you that was once manipulated, once burdened by pressure, once consumed with pleasing everyone but me. You are about to step into the season of authenticity, a season where you will no longer ask permission to shine, a season where you will no longer shrink back in fear of judgment, a season where you will walk with your head held high, your heart at peace, and your eyes fixed on a heavenly goal. This is not arrogance. It is a clear awareness of your worth in me. My beloved, remember this. Every unveiling from heaven comes with an assignment. You are not shown truth just for your comfort, but for action. You cannot keep this truth hidden in a corner of your heart. You must live by it. Walk in the light of it, and lead others out of darkness, just as you were led. You will not be alone on this journey. My angels have been dispatched. My arm has not been withdrawn. My protection is not fragile, and my power is ever ready to be displayed through those who dare to believe, dare to obey, and dare to step out. My child, can you feel it? There is an undercurrent rising in your spirit, a silent yet powerful stirring. This is not fleeting emotion. It is a divine ignition from within, where my word begins to awaken things long buried. I am stirring in you a spiritual memory that was sealed, dreams you once deemed foolish, desires you buried in heartbreak. I am setting them before you again, not to mock you, but to fulfill them. I, your God, do not forget what I have spoken. I do not speak a word only to take it back. I do not make promises and then forget them. I do not begin something I do not intend to complete. If I have planted a vision in your heart, then I myself will provide for its fruition. What I need from you is not talent, not prominence, not resources, but faith and surrender. If your heart will yield, I will handle the rest. My child, I know how many times you've wanted to give up. There have been nights where you lay awake thinking, maybe I was wrong. Maybe I misheard. Maybe this promise was for someone else. No, my child, you did not misheard. The enemy simply tried to distort. You are not imagining things. The heavens have been trembling because the time for fulfillment has come. If it were unimportant, he wouldn't have fought you so violently. If you carried no purpose, he wouldn't have surrounded you with betrayal, delay, and confusion. Everything you have endured is proof that you are carrying something of heavenly worth. Do not despise the delay. Do not assume that silence means I am inactive. Like a farmer who sows and waits for harvest, I have sown seeds of glory into your life, and I do not reap in vain. Some seasons of waiting are meant to deepen the roots so your soul can carry the weight of the glory I am about to release. And in that same waiting, I have revealed to you who walks with you for the mission, and who was only clinging to your journey out of convenience. Now you see clearly, that woman was not walking with you for the sake of the kingdom. She was there to capture your heart, cloud your vision, and sever the connection between you and me. But now that your eyes are opened, do not turn back. Do not show mercy to what I have called falsehood. Do not invite back what I have already cut off. You cannot heal while still nurturing poison. You cannot enter a season of increase while clinging to the roots of deceit. I am preparing to elevate you, and you must not bring anything from Egypt into the promised land. Remember Israel, when I led them out of bondage. They did not just walk out with their feet. They had to leave with a renewed mind. They left the old place, yet their hearts still longed for the meat of slavery. That is why an entire generation perished in the wilderness. I do not want this to be your story. You have come out. Now do not turn back in thought. Do not regret. Do not try to reconcile with a past I have already closed. I am calling you to look ahead to a land overflowing with my faithfulness, where all I have promised is about to begin. My beloved, you are not walking alone. You are not chasing vain hopes. My angels have encamped around you. The corridors of heaven are open, preparing for your next step. New doors will open, but they will only respond to obedience, not fear. This is your time to be courageous. Courageous to let go. Courageous to move forward. Courageous to say no to what once caused you to compromise. Courageous to not need to be understood. As long as you are obedient to what I have spoken, I have seen your tears. I have watched your efforts to forgive, to reconcile, to repair. I do not dismiss your striving, but there are relationships I did not ordain, and therefore, they cannot bear fruit in accordance with my will. Let what is dead be buried. Let me comfort you in the way no one else can. Let me fill the gaps, the fractures, the loneliness, for no one can care for your heart better than the one who created it. My child, when you stand at the crossroads zone path of emotion, the other of my word, choose my word. For emotions are fleeting, but my word is eternal. When you're unsure, you have the strength. Remember, I am your strength. When you fear losing your way, know that I am the light unto your path. And when you feel like no one understands you, remember I do. For I am the one who formed you, called you by name, and knows every path you will ever walk. Psalm 139. Know this. What I am preparing to give you is not merely a season of peace after the storm, but an entirely new foundation for your destiny. When I set you free from former entanglements, it was not just so you could re-sit. It was so you could walk in the freedom necessary to fulfill the calling etched into your soul before the foundation of the world. I did not rescue you just so you could survive. I rescued you so you could become a builder, a warrior, one who carries my light into the hearts still trapped in the very deception from which you were delivered. This is the time when I require you to walk in discernment and authority, not by shifting emotions, but by the boldness that comes from my Spirit. You can no longer nod in agreement with everything. You can no longer excuse what the Holy Spirit within you is warning against. It is time to learn silence when I say be silent, and to speak when I urge you to speak. It is time to stop begging for doors I have already closed, and to start knocking where I am waiting. Your obedience now no longer affects just you, affects the generations to come. The souls I will entrust to your care, and the divine strategies far greater than you can yet imagine. My child, understand this. The coming season is a season of sending, and before you are sent, you must know the one who sends you. I did not call you to represent people, emotions, or memories. I have called you to represent heaven, and to do that, your mind must be renewed, not controlled by old wounds or shaped by negative thinking. You must learn to see through the eyes of faith, not through the lens of pain. In the days ahead, you will face circumstances that test you, false accusations, suspicious glances, situations that tempt you to retreat. But remember, these are signs you are moving in the right direction. When I sent Joseph to Egypt, he was not welcomed with glory, but with betrayal. When I chose David, he was not crowned in a palace, but hunted in the wilderness. When I used Elijah, he did not dwell in comfort, but faced persecution. Yet through every trial, their faith was refined, and my glory shone all the brighter. So it will be with you. The hardships you have endured, and those yet to come, are not for punishment, but for preparation, not to destroy you, but to purify you, not to delay you, but to forge you for a calling with impact beyond your present understanding. I am giving you a new Gotno, just an opportunity, but a doorway that carries both weight and light. As you walk through it, you are not merely entering a new season, you are becoming the door through which others will also step into truth. Do not underestimate your position. Do not devalue the power of one life lived in obedience. One obedient heart can redirect an entire generation. One person who stands at the right moment can halt the wave of deception. And you are that person not because you are better, but because you have listened. You have stopped. You have rejected the darkness. So stand firm. Do not look back. Do not wait to understand everything before you obey. Some paths will only become clear as you walk. Some miracles will not unfold if you stay still, waiting for perfect conditions. Some angelic arms will not move until your mouth declares what I have already spoken. The weapon you need is not your logic, but my word, not old connections. But divin alignement. Close your eyes in prayer, but open your spiritual eyes. For I am already moving. In the coming days, I will speak to you through unmistakable signs. Don't wait for thunder or storms. Don't assume I only speak through loud voices. I will guide you through silencia stirring in your spirit, a scripture that suddenly comes alive, a divina coincidence, a door that opens unexpectedly. You will know it is me if your heart remains still. Do not let fear muffle my voice. Do not let opinions rob you of your peace. For when I lead, I do not bring confusion, I bring certainty in your spirit, even when your circumstances seem unclear. My child, this is the moment you step into the land of fulfillment. But that land is not for the double-minded. It is for those who hear, believe, and act. And I know you are one of them, because you chose light over darkness, because you stood up even after many falls, because you dared to believe in what others could not see. And because of this, I bless you. I confirm you. I make the way for you to walk through the darkness without fear. My beloved, the time has come for me to expose what darkness tried to keep hidden, not to deepen your pain, but to rescue you from a web woven with pretense. In this past season, I allowed you to experience silencino because I abandoned you, but to teach you how to hear beyond the noise of false voices. Now I will unveil. What once was only an impression will become confirmation. What you suspected will be brought to light, and the relationships in which you once placed your trust will be tested by the fire of my holiness. I do not delight in your betrayal, but it is in betrayal that you have seen my faithfulness. It is when others withdrew that you discovered I never left. Do you remember Joseph? It was his own brothers who sold him. Yet in that very rejection, the door to the throne was opened. You have not been forgotten. You have been prepared. And the enemy did not realize that the betrayal he meant for your destruction has become the very staircase drawing you deeper into reverence and closer to my glory. That woman, the one who once pretended to be a friend, who spoke beautiful words, who cried with you, was never meant to walk with you to the end of your journey. She was used as a tool, wrapped in sweetness, sent to soften your heart, to lower your guard, and slowly sever your soul from me. Not every sweet word is from heaven. Not every prayer spoken beside you carries the fragrance of the Spirit. You sensed something was off. There were times your spirit trembled when she prayed, but you hesitated because you didn't want to judge. And I understand that, but now you can no longer delay. I will expose what has been hidden, the double-tongued words, the secret actions, the rumors whispered behind your back. You won't need to search for proof. I myself will shine light into the shadows, not so you can retaliate, but so you can be free. You will not need to defend yourself, for in my time, the truth will sound like a trumpet in the night. Those who believed lies about you will begin to see. Those who turned away will be astonished when they witness my hand lifting you up. And you, who endured in silence, will be restored before those who once wounded you. But remember, restoration is not an invitation to pride, but a call to deeper surrender. When I crown you again, it is not for you to prove anything to others, but to bow before me in spirit and in truth. If your heart still harbors bitterness, you are not truly free. But if you choose to forgive not because they deserve it, but because you refuse to allow anything to block the flow of my Spirit, then you will walk as light as the wind, and the enemy will no longer be able to follow you. You will see that every stumbling stone has become a stepping stone. Every wound that once brought you to tears now becomes a testimony of mercy. You will tell others, "It was in the place of betrayal that I encountered God. It was in the place of weeping that I learned how to rise." And they will listen, because the glory is not in the fact that you never fell, but that you fell and did not stay down. You rose not by your own strength, but by my grace. My beloved, once your spiritual eyes are opened, do not hesitate to move forward. Some will not understand why you don't go back. Some will question why you left that relationship, that job, that circle, but you do not owe them answers. You only need to listen to my voice, for I did not call you to explain, I called you to follow. and you do not need approval from man when you've been affirmed by heaven. I will lead the blind by ways they have not known. Along unfamiliar paths I will guide them. I will turn darkness into light before them and make the rough places smooth. Isaiah 42:16. Do you see it now? The rough roads you once walked will be leveled. The places where traps once lay hidden will now be lit. No one will cloud your vision again. No one will hold spiritual authority over your soul again. I have redeemed you by my blood, and you are mine. Forever. My child, I want you to understand this. Deliverance is not just stepping out of bondage, it's stepping into a new land, where you must learn to live under the light of glory. You've lived too long in an atmosphere where suspicion was painted over with false kindness, where love was twisted into control, where advice from revered voices became daggers to your soul. But now, I am transforming the entire atmosphere within you. Every breath you take will no longer be tainted with fear, but filled with the life of heaven. You'll come to know that there are relationships I am not only calling you to release, but I, myself, will sever, so that you cannot return to them. This may break your heart, but I do not act from cruelty, I act from mercy. Because if you remain in those polluted connections any longer, not only will your spiritual vision grow dim, but the voice of heaven will begin to fade. And I cannot allow that to happen, because the call on your life is too vital not only for you, but for those you are meant to reach in the days ahead. You must understand, the betrayal you experienced was not the end, it was a transformation. Just as the shell of the cocoon must break for the butterfly to emerge, that pain left cracks, but it was through those very cracks that light came in. My child, I have poured into you something the enemy never anticipated, a new courage, an unshakable faith, and a discernment as sharp as a double-edged sword. You will no longer be deceived by eloquent words or outward piety. You will see clearly not because you're suspicious, but because the Spirit within you will warn you. And when you walk with discernment from heaven, you will sidestep the traps disguised in false light. Remember, you are not someone who can be bought. You are not swayed by hollow promises. You are no longer vulnerable to emotional manipulation by those who know how to exploit compassion. No, you are the one I am training to carry light into the storm. You will not only be someone who is rescued, but someone who rescues. You will not only be a receiver of healing, but one who opens your mouth and sets others free. When I speak these words to you, I am not merely assigning you a role. I am placing upon your shoulders a mantle of commissioning, woven from the prayers of your ancestors, from the tears shed through generations, and from your own surrender in the darkness. There is nothing you need to do to earn it, for the blood of the Lamb has already made you called, chosen, and sent. But to walk in power, your heart must remain pure. You must walk in the light, without compromise. I do not require your perfection. I ask for your faithfulness. I do not demand that you never be weak. But when you are, come to Meno, to false comforts, clothed in shadows. My child, in the days to come, you will witness those who once pretended to be friends begin to fall away, not because you've done anything wrong, but because the light within you now exposes the darkness in them. Some will no longer want to be near you because you are no longer fragile, no longer easily controlled, no longer in need of them the way they assumed. Do not hold on. Let me purify the circle around you. For I am rearranging the landscape to bring in the ones who are true, those with upright hearts, strong spirits, and missions that align with your own. You will not be alone. But before those people arrive, I must ensure that you are no longer entangled by the cords of old ties. Just as Gideon needed only 300 men out of thousands, Judges 7-7, you don't need many, you need the right ones. I do not build my kingdom through numbers, but through refinement. And you are one of the chosen stones. You are not an extra. You are a pillar. A varyor. Someone I can trust to carry truth, even when it costs you relationships. Do not fear being misunderstood. Do not dread isolation. For my presence will become more tangible in the solitude. And in the silence, you will hear my voice most clearly. Prepare yourself. You are stepping into a time of action. You will no longer just sit and receive my word, but will rise to execute it. Yet before I send you far, I am asking you to sever what is false nearby. Let me help you draw the line. And once you do, you will experience a freedom you've never known. You will breathe easier, pray deeper, and walk with greater authority. Child, as you step out of the old land, you are also shedding the false layers that once defined you through the eyes of others. The names they once called you weak, unworthy, rejected dare, no longer your truth. For I, the Lord your God, am the only one who has the right to name you. And I do not name you by your failures. I name you by the destiny I authored before the foundations of the world. You are no longer merely a survivor. You are the one I have sent. You are no longer a victim, but a vessel of glory in the hand of the Almighty. My beloved, you have dwelled too long in the land of compromise, where you muted your spiritual influence for fear of being misunderstood. You lowered your voice, dimmed your light, shrank yourself just to be accepted. But that captivity ends now. I have shattered the invisible chains. I am awakening what lies deep in your soul, the call that never died. Though it was buried under long delays and wounds that once felt beyond repair, do you know why I allowed you to walk through dark days? Not to break you, but so you would learn to discern true light, not the light of fame, applause, or fleeting validation, but the light of heavenly glory, where one word from me is worth more than 1,000 praises from man. You have learned that lesson, and because you did not reject the refining process, I now place in your hands a new authority, not loud, not showy, but strong enough to unlock long-shut souls. In the coming season, the call will feel clearer, no more confusion, no more doubt. Every step you take will be guided. Every word you speak will carry spiritual weight. And those who once looked down on you will stand astonished at the wisdom that flows from the very one they dismissed. But do not let it feed your pride. It was I who revealed, and it is I who will keep you from falling into arrogance. Let your heart be like David's, a heart that did not seek a throne, yet was chosen to rule because of its integrity. Child, when I send you, there will be much you must leave behind. Not only people, but habits, mindsets, and relationships that no longer fit your new spiritual capacity. Some will accuse you of becoming cold. Say, you've changed. And they will be right, you have. Not because you no longer love them, but because you love me more. Not out of pride, but because you have seen something greater than what they still cling to. And I want you to remember, not everyone receives light at the same time. Some will need more time, but others will never walk with you. Discern this in prayer. You are about to enter a season where you no longer plead to witness miracles. You will become one, not by doing something sensational, but by living faithfully each day, walking in faith, loving without condition, and worshiping in spirit and in truth. You will see my hand in the smallest of things, in conversations, financial decisions, dreams, and nighttime warnings. Record them. Hold on to every clue I give, because you are no longer walking alone, and heaven's movements are about to accelerate on your behalf. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. You are not being thrown into confusion. You are being led with divine intention. And what once looked like an ending to you, a shattered relationship, a painful rejection, a door slammed shut, was only the prelude to a greater story, one that no eye has seen, no heart has imagined. My child, remember this: I am not merely leading you out of deception. I am guiding you into the fullness of truth, not just out of the shadows, but into the radiant light of a destiny confirmed by angels and sealed in a covenant of blood. You will not need to make many declarations. It will be your presence, the peace that follows you, and the grace-filled, consecrated way you live that will speak louder than any defense. You will become both a trumpet of warning and a sign of hope for those seeking a way out of the labyrinth of falsehood. Beloved one, look back on the path you've traveled, every stumble, every battle you thought you couldn't win, every tear shed without an answer. Today, if you listen closely, you'll realize none of it was meaningless. They were echoes of a spiritual song that has never ceased, the song I composed uniquely for your life. And as you stand now on the threshold of a new season, I have come to tell you, this moment marks the intersection between what has ended and what is about to begin. You have long asked me for a sign. But child, I do not send signs through stars or trembling earth, but through the very losses and isolation you've endured. In those things, I silenced the noise, separated you from untrustworthy hands, so your heart could be still enough to hear my voice. And in that stillness, you learn to discern what is true, who has been sent by me, and what reward is worth holding on to. Now is the time to stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and begin asking, "Lord, what do you want me to do with this?" For the anointed one is not the one who avoids pain, but the one who turns their wounds into doors for healing. You have been knocked down, but never forsaken, misunderstood. Yet I have always understood you. Lost your way, but I never left the post of your guide. And because you did not surrender in the darkness, I now lead you into a season of action, where you will no longer pray only for yourself, but stand in the gap for many others. You will begin to see divinely orchestrated situations, encounters that are not accidental, conversations that carry eternal weight. You will not have to force any doors open, for I will place the keys in your hands. But remember this, you are only to open the doors I appoint. Know this, not every door is from me. Some are crafted by the enemy, imitations of favor, adorned with fleeting glory. You must walk with sharp discernment, and that discernment flows from intimate connection with me and from communion with the one who formed you. You will witness how what once stood against you will begin to turn and serve your purpose. Those who once looked down on you will see a glory within you they cannot deny. But do not retaliate. Let your heart remain tender. Let your victory be marked not by pride, but by transformed thinking. When you choose forgiveness, you make room for heaven to move. When you choose love, you are not weak. You are acting as one who carries the kingdom within. I will place a new language within you, not the language of intellect, but the language of power. When you open your mouth, your words will break chains and touch the deepest parts of others' souls. And this will not come from eloquence, but from a heart fully surrendered. For I do not use the qualified, I use the willing. I do not seek the perfect, I seek the obedient. And you, my child, are such a one. You have not fully understood the journey. Yet you kept walking. You did not see the entire road. Yet you followed the light, one step at a time. And because of that, you are about to witness a miracle, an opening that no one will be able to shut. What no eye has seen, what no ear has heard, and what no human mind has conceived, the things God has prepared for those who love Him. 1 Corinthians 2-9. I have already prepared them. And now, you only need to step in. No need to rush. No need to strive. Simply remain in me, and I will move through you. Prepare yourself. People will come looking for you, not because of who you are, but because of the one who lives in you. They will not know why they trust you, but their souls will recognize the light within you. Be ready to listen to them. Be ready to pray for them. Be ready not just to speak, but to live out what you believe. For you are no longer just a learner, you have become a messenger. My beloved, when I laid my hand upon your life, no force could ever stop the destiny ordained from heaven. Though the enemy may plot, though people may reject you, though circumstances may resist, my purpose remains unchanged. I do not rely on human approval to fulfill the plans I have for you. All I need is your yes. And now, because you have surrendered, humbled yourself, and held your faith through barren deserts, I am about to clothe you with a new mantle of authority that comes from above. Get ready, for you are about to witness my power revealed not just to you, but through you, not to elevate your name, but to glorify mine. Every act of obedience opens the path for me to move. Every time you choose forgiveness over bitterness, holiness over compromise, you are building a living altar where I can dwell. And on that very altar, I will burn away fear, uproot the lies you once believed, and replace them with the unshakable light of truth. Breathe out fear and breathe in faith. Let the past die and live fully in today. Do not return to the old path. Do not waste your energy explaining yourself to those who no longer desire to understand. Let me be the one to bring clarity. Keep your hand to the plow and do not look back. For the fields in this season are ripe for harvest. And you, yes, you are the one I have sent to gather souls, to heal wounds, to restore desolate places, and to rebuild the ruined temple. I bless you not as the world gives, but as a father blesses his heir. I do not revoke what I have spoken. And today, before the hosts of heaven and the rulers in the heavenly realms, I declare, this is my servant, the one I have chosen, the one in whom I delight. Rise up, my beloved. Step in, for this is no longer the season of waiting. This is the season of receiving. This is the season of executing. This is the season where you will walk like one who knows exactly to whom you belong. And my child, you belong to me. Thank you for listening to today's message. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so we can continue to receive the living word together. build an unshakable faith and walk in the boundless love of God. Amen.